TMG fam, it's your boy Ellen. I'm back with another reaction. So listen, man, we about to get into 5 frightening, do you hear me? Frightening, unsolved mysteries recently solved by the internet. Now, I know some of y'all be like, yo, how does the internet solve these crimes and situations faster or better than the police? Bro, it used to baffle me too until TMZ came along, and I was like, yo, TMZ is like becoming the #1 news source. Like, they're beating the actual news outlets who've been around for generations. They're getting things faster and out before the police. Like, it's insane. It's to the point now where if something happened, I'd be like, did TMZ confirm it? And that's crazy. And when you sit down and you think about it and you're like, yo, I'm relying on TMZ, but they've become that credible almost to the point. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying they don't mess up. All of them do. All news stations mess up. But tell me I'm wrong without just saying you're wrong, just out of spite. Tell me I'm telling you, it's crazy. But yeah, man, the internet be out here solving these cases, man. But who cares how it gets solved at the end of the day? Long as it gets solved, right? Who cares? Long as that's the ultimate objective, period. All right. So we're going to check this video out. If you're new to the channel, man, hit the subscribe button, join the fam. All right. Moment of silence for the haters. That's enough. Now run the likes up. Make sure y'all hit that like button.
In the days before the internet, solving crimes were much more difficult than they are now. Advancements in technology has brought the justice system closer to solving crimes and mysteries across the world. Another benefit to the internet, though, is how online users or groups can actually come together to perform an amateur investigation. In some of these cases, mysteries and crimes have been solved thanks to the help of the public online. Burning questions are finally answered when these groups or individuals...
And I guess that's one way to look at it, you know? It's the public helping out. You know, they issue, when they can't figure things out or they're having trouble, they issue a reward for anybody to help. So I guess that's the way we got to look at things now. That's the new public. You know, the internet is the new public cry out for help. So for the police to put it out or whatever, use the internet. Shoot, most people tell on themselves anyway.
Offer their skill set. Number 5. Luckily, there are literally millions of resources and websites containing information about depression and thoughts of taking one's own life. Many people report to the internet to seek help and support during the lowest points of their life. Often, these sources are useful and can even prevent tragedy. That being said, it's unbelievable that someone seeking help online could actually be encouraged to do the opposite of get better.
If you don't know the internet, then welcome to the internet, bro. Because it's a two-way thing, fam. Most people, like, they prey on your downfall. They prey on your downfall. So you reaching out for help, they'll you know what I mean, push your hand back and tell you to go through with it. It's sad, but it's true.
However, that's what happened to 18-year-old Nadia Kajuji in 2008. The young woman jumped off of a bridge from Ottawa's icy Rideau River and ultimately ended her own life. Her friends and relatives were devastated at the loss, mourning the woman's passing. According to those who were close to her, Nadia had been suffering from depression symptoms for a long time. Additionally, she had previously miscarried during pregnancy and was facing financial struggles and was under immense pressure at school. Therefore, while her family was shocked at the loss, they also understood to some degree. It made sense given all the facts that Nadia would choose to do something like this. After her passing, though, some details came to light that made the unquestionable suicide a bit more complicated. In her browsing history, detectives found that she spent a lot of time on one particular website and chat room. It seems at first that Nadia was visiting the website for emotional support and help with her suicidal thoughts. But instead, she found something disturbing while on the site. A 31-year-old female nurse from Minneapolis named Cammie frequently chatted with Nadia for hours on end. During one of their conversations, Nadia asked what it would feel like to pass away. Cammie explained that it would probably feel great. A few messages later, the pair made a suicide pact. Cammie encouraged Nadia non-stop in a few days prior to her passing. While officers were aware of the Cammie user, they couldn't uncover her true identity, location, or even contact information.
Are you serious? So this person, and I bet this person didn't go through with it. That's how cowards work. That's straight up how cowards work, bro. I guarantee you they didn't go through with it. That pisses me off, man. And the fact that we can't trace them or figure it out, I hope the internet solves this one.
What seemed at first to be a usual self-harm case quickly turned into a possible criminal investigation.
Right.
Eventually, Celia Blay, a school teacher and counselor, came across Cammie while providing online counseling for depression. The two came in contact, and after some manipulation and online searching, Celia successfully exposed Cammie's true identity. The user was actually a 52-year-old married father of two named William Dinkle. Celia was able to find this information and track down his location. She quickly learned that the man was living in Minnesota and had been involved in other incidents starting as far back as 2005. He was charged and sentenced to 360 days in prison, but the conviction was later reversed after Minnesota Supreme Court decided that William was using his First Amendment right to free speech. Although some will agree what he did was evil, cruel, or immoral, it was not technically illegal. Still, if Celia did not discover the man's true identity, he would have gone on to spark more tragedy.
And he gets a year. I'm sorry, but the punishment don't fit the crime. No, he needed more than that. He needed more than that, bro. Like, she's no longer here, and instead of trying to help, you encouraged her. You might as well been there on the bridge to push her off. As far as I'm concerned, you might as well have been there. Wow. Wow. A year. Wow.
Number 4. Child predators are some of the most hated individuals all across the board.
True.
Even some twisted killers were upset by the disgusting acts and crimes of these suspects. It may seem like predators are usually hidden away and secretive about their sick desires. However, if you visit some of the deepest and darkest corners of the internet, or the dark web, you'll find that these criminals are frequently very open and detailed about their crimes, given the right platform. Even amongst all of the illegal and unsettling criminal activity that occurs on the dark web, crimes involving children are still commonly looked down upon. Brad Willman, a self-described private computer cop, spent a significant amount of his time and energy to bring back the sickos online to the surface, so he could help expose them and bring them to justice. Brad began his work in the 1990s by digging around online to locate users that downloaded or distributed child content. Around 2000, Brad had created a Trojan horse program to take his investigations a step further. He would post his program to chat rooms, forums, and blogs that predators were known to frequent. The program would look like a photo file attachment which could be downloaded. Hoping the file contained indecent content, users were tricked into downloading the virus. The program would run on their computer and grant Brad access to all of their activities without them ever knowing. Brad successfully gained access to over 3,000 computers belonging to predators, distributors, and customers. Police officers, military personnel, social workers, priests, and judges are just a few of the public figures he obtained information on.
Hold up. Did you hear the people they just named?
Distributors and customers. Police officers, military personnel, social workers, priests, and judges are just a few of the public figures he obtained information on. One of the more popular cases involving this operation surrounded California Superior Court Judge Ronald C. Klein. Klein was one of many to download the Trojan horse, allowing Brad to monitor his every move. Brad anonymously exposed detailed diary entries that Klein wrote in relation to his defiant behavior and crimes. In 2001, officers searched Klein's home and found 1,500 indecent computer images of young children. His office computer at the courthouse also contained similar content. He endured a 4-year trial and was eventually sentenced to 27 to 33 months in prison. He was also barred from ever performing legal work again and was forced to register as a sex offender.
And you could tell he couldn't shake it. It had taken over. That's all he wanted to do. He watched it at home. He looked at it at home. Then he went to work and did the same thing. That's sicko mode. That's a sicko.
No.
Castration. I'm just saying. Penalties need to get a lot more harsh. But they'll think about it then.
Number 3. Gregory May was a well-known tattoo artist and antiques collector that made a living in Bellevue, Iowa. Greg's girlfriend, Jan Booman, stopped by his home on January 11, 2001. She saw Greg inside, but he would not respond to her. She also saw Julie Johnson, who was dating Greg's roommate, Duke. Jan left and received a phone call from Julie, who claimed Greg had left for Chicago after telling her that he had no interest in dating Jan. About 3 days later, Jan visited Greg's home again and found that his car, furniture, Civil War memorabilia, and cash supply was all gone. Near the end of January of 2001, Greg's son Don began to worry. He hadn't heard from his father in about a month. The two were very close, and it was unlike Greg to ignore his kids. His children and ex-wife found it hard to believe that Greg would just vanish without letting them know or remain in contact with them throughout his trip. His phone was disconnected, and in February, his family traveled to Bellevue to file a missing persons report. As the investigation went on, Greg's car was eventually found in Wisconsin. Many of his antiques that were stolen also started showing up in pawn and antique shops. This turned the attention of investigators to Julie and Duke, who conveniently left town after Greg's disappearance and were allegedly proven to be involved in reselling his belongings. They were charged for stealing Greg's belongings and interfering with an investigation. It was difficult to keep the trial going without a body, though. Very little evidence suggested that either of them were involved in the murder. That is, until an E-detective, Ellen Leach, discovered something both terrifying and amazing as it would progress the case forward. Ellen is known for solving cases by investigating and locating evidence that may have otherwise been overlooked. Ellen was investigating an unrelated missing persons case when she stumbled across this valuable discovery. A truck driver in Missouri found a white bucket full of cement. He cracked the cement and found that a decayed human skull was inside. Ellen, who got in contact with the truck driver, sent a facial recognition expert to analyze the skull. They recreated the face and sent a photo to Ellen, who searched the internet tirelessly for hours on end to find a missing persons report that resembled this John Doe. After her hard work, she found that the missing man named Gregory May. She found that the missing man, Greg, shockingly resembled this face. She shared all of the information with Bellevue police, and the evidence was later used to convict Duke.
Wow.
Number 2. In December 2011, the day after Christmas, 17-year-old Haley Wilson ran away from home. She took only her guitar and bedding when she left through her bedroom window, leaving behind Amarillo, Texas. She left her father, Ray Wilson, a note saying that she felt as though her life had no meaning and she was sorry. She also instructed her father not to look for her. Of course, though, her dad immediately started working to find her.
Right.
He reported her missing and then created a short video in which he shared the details of the runaway and begged his daughter to return home safely. He shared that video on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. It quickly went viral, and a massive team of online users came together to find Haley. Ray's followers began sharing his story far and wide. They sent in photos and details to local law enforcement and even obtained witness reports from random people that had seen Haley traveling. Eventually, witnesses reported seeing Haley walking alongside a road in San Diego near a wooded area filled with caves and caverns. An online user reported that information to San Diego police. Officers quickly reported to the area and began searching. In less than an hour, Haley was found in a cave. She was safe and healthy, but also appeared tired and weathered. Her father hit the road again to San Diego and was reunited with his daughter a short while later. After an emotional meeting between the regretful daughter and her terrified father, Ray posted online that Haley was safe and on her way back home. He thanked his followers for their amazing help, and thanks to social media, finding Haley only took about a week. Considering she was alone in the wilderness, if any more time had passed, she could have faced serious danger or harm. It's just an example of how useful social media can be at some times.
See, it ain't always bad, even though we get a lot of the bad with social media. It has its good moments too, bro. So you can't really, sometimes you just want to throw it away, or you just want to uninstall certain apps and things like that. If you got to do that, then cool, walk away from it. But it does have some benefits, fam. For real, for real. And as that father would quickly agree.
Number 1. In 1968, a 4-year-old named Carolie Sadie Ashby was the victim of a hit-and-run case. Unfortunately, she lost her life, and her family mourned not only the loss of her, but the fact that justice may never be served.
Wow.
Without street cameras or substantial witnesses, it's hard to find the driver. Although a brief investigation did follow the incident, detectives were able to locate a suspect and the case went cold. For over 45 years, the tragic event haunted the Ashby family because they knew that their child's killer was walking the streets a free man. In early 2012, Lieutenant Russ Johnson opened the case for unknown reasons and posted the details to a Facebook group that investigates facts about local history in upstate New York, where the crime occurred. The post gained a lot of attention from members and also went viral, causing the information to be shared as far as Florida. And it's a good thing because a break in the case happened shortly after. A woman living in Florida called upstate police after seeing the post. She told them that on the night of the incident, a member of the Pawhurst community, one of the woman's neighbors, asked her to lie to police for them by saying that she was the driver at the party on a specific night. They didn't give her much information, and even though she refused to lie to police, she mostly pushed the conversation to the back of her mind. That was until she saw the Facebook post. Thanks to this new tip, the case was reopened and a new investigation began. Officers located the 62-year-old Douglas Parkhurst and questioned his involvement in the accident.
Oh, all right. So that would have been, he would have been what? 17 years old? 17 years old he would have been? 45 years later? I know it's late, and he done lived most of his life at this point, but still, get him.
He openly admitted that he'd been heavily drinking that night and was responsible for the girl's passing. He explained that the guilt had followed him ever since, but he was too scared to come forward. When the Ashby family heard the noise, they were saddened to remember that horrible night, but were joyous to learn that justice could be served. Though they quickly learned that that wasn't necessarily the case. Despite his confession, officers were unable to charge Douglas or put him on trial, as the statute of limitations had already expired. Although the suspect did not face his consequences, at least the family...
See that right? I don't understand it. Please help me figure that one out. That statute of limitations, bro. Help me figure that one out. Why? You don't think she deserves her killer to be brought to justice? Look at her face. And y'all want to talk about some statute of limitations? Why? Look at her face. I want that to be ingrained in people's mind. Her face. Because she deserves justice. And you want to tell their parents statute of limitations. I know they have to follow the law, but we got to revisit this law.
They did finally get answers they waited so long for. The fact that this case was solved by a simple Facebook post supports the idea that social media and online communication can be great contributors for solving crimes. Thank you guys so much for...
Wow. Excuse me. Wow. Statute of limitations. That's what they're going to tell you. And he, to make it even worse, he never came forth. Had somebody lie. Did all of that. And still won't be brought to justice, bro. I don't care if it was, did you arrest him and he'd be in jail 5 days and he passed away. So what? You know what I'm saying? Like, her family, and she deserves that. That's crazy. That one there, man. I don't know. Y'all help me understand it. Make me a believer out of statute of limitations. Let me know. How do y'all feel about it? What's your take on it? And then before you answer, put yourself in that family's shoes. Before you sit here and you give a retort and you respond back an objection to what I'm saying. Put yourself in that family's shoes first. All right? Cool. Y'all get at me in the comment section. Let me know what you think, man. And stick around and stay tuned to the next reaction. I'm out. Y'all stay solid. Hey.